Yeah, see, as far as I was aware, you stopped taking damage during the countdown. I know you can get knocked around.
No, you always take damage.
I don't know, I've never seen that.
In fact, I'm pretty sure I told you that.
I think you did. I've still never seen evidence of it. Hey, the Argosy has returned. Do you have anything worthwhile?
No.
I mean, he really doesn't.
Checking the box is so greasy.
I've literally never had it.
You're not missing much.
I hear a lot of people who say they really like it, though.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not at the same time. It's one of those, like, monkey's paw things. Like, the flavor is okay, but the sheer amount of grease.
Okay. I really want to start using bow. I remember bow being a lot of fun back in Monster Hunter 3.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's very quick. Like, for a ranged, it's super mobile. But it's also relatively short range.
I want. If I do Zora B, that'll give me a slot with Blast Attack. I could probably gem in a single Blast Attack up. Yeah, stuff like that does happen, Yuki. A lot in places like that.
I can't eat at Applebee's no matter where it is. I've eaten at Applebee's all around North America. Every time I get sick. Like, literally every time they make me sick.
No. Like, I want to have a blast weapon, but the blast armor options are really bad.
What do you mean the armor options?
The armor that actually has blast attack bonus.
Yeah. Well, it's not really. Blast armor or boosts are great if you're running a weapon that uses a lot of blast, but primarily stuff like the gun lance.
Well, that's the thing. I'm gonna Well, no, I'm talking about the ones that specifically have blast attack, which is specific
Yeah,
for
that's
element
what I mean.
blast.
You want to use stuff like the gun lance.
I don't know if I want to dedicate anything to blast now.
Like, it's great if you're trying to. What's the word I'm looking for? It's great if you're trying to break plates and stuff off things.
I enjoyed 3U. I didn't bother with the water breathing helmet though. Okay, you ready to hunt things?
Almost. I'm just killing the Engineath.
Okay, just for giggles, I'm gonna go do the Kieran quest.
Which one? The 2?
The double, yeah.
Do you even have the first done yet?
Yeah, we did it together.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I'm about to cap this nerd.
Okay, I mean, I thought you didn't want to do this one, though.
No, I'll do the double.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't know if you had the single done.
Yeah, we did that. And it looks like it unlocks something, or has a cool reward. It has that, like, it has the blade icon, which usually indicates there's a bonus. Also, I'm looking forward to these triples. I'm gonna go... Okay, while you're finishing that up, I'm gonna go hunt a... an enhanced Puke Puke. I mean, honestly, though, like, there were so few enemies that you fought underneath the water in the first place. And it was just so easy to get air. The only enemy that really mattered if you could deal with air management was Caduceus, and he was kinda easy. To be honest, that fight literally was just wait to Dragonator twice. You didn't even really bother attacking him all that much. I mean, everything's hard at high rank, though. Like, that's a kind of a universal thing.
Come on, Anjanath.
Do they even have G rank in this yet?
Not yet.
Yes. Weird. Okay, which direction does this want me to go? This way? Okay, this way. Not dealing with the freaking Azure Rathalos right now. Gotta practice other weapons. I like the Insect Glaive. Like, I do like it. Once I kind of complete everything else, I will be kind of messing with the Insect Glaive, because I like its style.
You like the cut of its jib.
Yeah, sure, let's go with that.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. I got randomly killed.
By what?
I don't know. There's nothing around me. I just fell over. I didn't have Fireblight. I wasn't poisoned.
You probably got boomed by a Grimalkin.
No, no Grimalkins in low rank.
Huh.
I don't want to help me murder this fuck before I switch over to my main.
You'll need to give me a minute, because I'm actually currently hunting a enhanced Puke Puke.
Yeah, they're easy though.
Mhm.
Even enhanced, they're kind of potatoes.
The only reason I'm fighting him is to see if I can get some better charms. Or not charms, whatever those things are called. Decorations. More in this direction. Okay, fine. I will come join you. Charge Blade is definitely good. I know Medicine
Yeah,
doing it.
Charge Blade is what Sora uses all the time. She loves it.
I didn't see much of a... I didn't have that same impact with Charge Blade that I do with non-Charge Blade. that a tail? That was a tail. Wow. Longsword is like the most popular weapon in the game right now. So, you know, it's definitely appreciated. And Longsword has really good severing power. It just doesn't have any stopping power. Ow. Double ow. There are samurais everywhere. You are exactly right. Well, it just means instead of getting flinches based on like weight, you're getting flinches based on raw damage, which is a little bit harder. But there still are flinches based on damage. And Puke, you're just having a bad day right now, aren't you? As I said, you can still get flinches with a longsword. You're not going to get them as often. You will still get them. See, I didn't do that fight because I didn't play 4. Because I think these games play terribly on the 3DS. Just controls-wise. Oh, hello. I didn't play any of the 3DS ones because of the control issues. I tried, but I just couldn't do it. What?
Okay, so on one of my discords, there's an artist on it, and he draws a lot of furry shit.
Okay.
So he made this OC thing that it's like some modern guy Doberman thing, and he's got like piercings all along his nose and shit like that, and he's got scars. So I asked him, so what's your edgelord McFuckface? Like, I literally wrote, what's your edgelord McFuckface's reason for having the scars on his eyes? That's like, oh, he was in a hunting accident when he was with his tribe. And it's like, okay, so let me get this straight. Lives in not America, hunting accident. Why did he get clawed? Did he not have? Was he hunting with a spear? And it's like, no, he was from the African savannah. So he's a Doberman from the African savannah. And why does his nipple glow green? Well, there's toxic waste, so it glows green. He doesn't have like a fucking tumor or cancer that's killing him. I was just so condescending to him the entire time. Because, like, I've noticed that about a lot of furries. They make these really stupid fucking characters that make no fucking sense. Like, I get like anthropomorphic animals, like people like them, because I mean a lot of people grew up with fucking Looney Tunes and shit like that. So
right.
I get it. Some people like the characters for what it is, but even with Looney Tunes, even though the characters are silly, they still have a bit of logic to them. Like, they're bound within their constraints.
Right.
In this, it was just like a generic, really muscular fucking piercings all along their nose, eyebrow rings, septum piercings, gauges, fucking glowing green nipples, eye scars for edgelordism, and like I'm just like, your original character is about original as wiping my ass and throwing it in the toilet. Like, literally every furry I've ever seen has made 5 of the ones that you're calling original. Secret of Nim is great because it's anthropomorphism, but they're not like, they have human characteristics, but they're pretty much just their actual species on their back legs. Like, they're not given, like, they're given the ability to show emotion and facial changes and shit, but they're not like super modern bullshit. Like, you can still see they're a fucking mouse. Yeah.
Chances are, whoever you're talking to or talking about, chances are they're a young kid who
They are 32.
Okay, I take it back. Like, I see that a lot with young kids who,
think edgy McEdgefuck is cool.
yeah, it's they're looking to kind of establish themselves and establish their own character, and a lot of people think that, original the character is the way you establish a good character. You don't learn until, you're growing up on Naruto and shit like that. You need that super unique and interesting, everything about me is unique and different in order to make character. It's only when you get older that you realize that it's the little things that matter. Yeah. Give him a single scar with a small story about it and he's interesting. It doesn't have to be from the African savannah. Dude freaking fell off his bike when he was a kid. That's the story. Like,
yeah. Like, what's really funny is it's kind of like that situation with from The Incredibles, when everyone's super, no one is. In this case, when everyone's an edgelord, no one is.
I mean, okay, hold on, let me see something real quick.
All right, I'm gonna need the session ID because apparently Squad does not transfer. It's not a global thing; it's character based. So I'll join you and then give the guild card of this character.
Yeah, but I can't invite you though to the squad.
No, I just go to the player list and I can copy that.
Well, I know, but I can't. There you go. I can't invite you to the squad. You'll never be able to be invited.
No, but I can just use the. I can just join off your guild card in the future. All right, so H W K J. Whoops, that's lower J. J G J U 7 X D X.
I think it depends, like with the character creation thing, especially with stuff like that, because people do it all the time in.
Actually, I had a similar thing, Yugi. A similar base idea. Let me see if I can pull it up. I wrote it down a while ago. Where did I save this? Where did I save this? I think it was here. So I've got one. It's basically like there are legends and stories about the ancient godly beings who breathed life into the land, magic and sorcery granting sentience to the creatures of the land, which later grew into the tribes and societies that rule. Throughout the land, it's considered taboo to travel into sacred lands, jutting landscapes of stone and steel littered with crystalline shards and prowled by the cursed. Beings of warped physiology that range from beasts with an additional eye or multi-legged humanoids that spit sulfur and fire. Flyers with several sets of wings, tentacles, trailing a grotesque ribbon of gore. It's here that the ancients ascended. It's believed that the creatures that call it home were cursed for coming too close to the gods. These rulers of the lands refused to allow people to travel into them without permit for fear of drawing the gaze of the ancients and cursing them like the monsters within. Adventurers, a term for those who will do tasks for rewards. It could be as simple as payment for service rendered, or even a knighthood from the realm, depending on the job. Those adventurers who show to be adept at their trade are given access to the Holy Land, where lost technology can be recovered and reverse engineered, giving the recipient country new ways to expand their influence through trade or war. Magic is a skill that can be used by all, their affinity depending on an individual basis. Most adventurers having a passing knowledge of basic healing and physical augmentation, but some can fashion weapons from their blood, call lightning from their fingertips, conjure fire, or see through stone. Various races having greater connections to certain elements than others. Of the races, each one rules a country. Some are allied with others, while others are at war. Borders are drawn between the Holy Lands, which dot the landscape amongst the many lakes and grasslands that make up the realm, and most countries claim power based on how many of these locations they control. Some countries may have 1 or 2 holy sites, while others have upwards of 6. There are the wolves, a medium-sized realm allied with the reclusive kitsune and wild ravens, possess 4 holy sites and a rather powerful military. They are experts with melee combat, and their spellcasters tend to lean toward fire and light for elements. They are honorable, but not stuck in their ways so much as they would do anything without question. Personal loyalty to those one's morals being greater than any affiliation with royalty. With this in mind, their people don't have a traditional royal family, instead following more democratic means of leadership, where prosthetic leaders bring their abilities to the table, where they are then judged and people vote to decide who will represent them as a whole. This was a general basis, and what is hinted at throughout that story, or that little blurb, is grasslands, lakes, cities of stone and steel. The ancients weren't some uplifted race. They were humans who fucking nuked themselves out of existence. And the survivors, the mutants that exist within that realm, are basically the ones who didn't die and just mutated horribly. The species that rule now actually crawled out of these holy lands, which were actually bunkers where those that survived but then passed away because they couldn't live in the world because it was too irradiated, tried to create spliced species to get on the surface to clean it up for them. But what ended up happening is the radiation infused these beings not with magic, but with specific things like some can manipulate their bioelectricity and create shocks of lightning with various degrees of finesse based on how much of this essentially tumor they have that allows them to charge electricity. Others can ignite their blood or control it as if it's another part of their body. Others can manipulate fire by increasing their own body heat to such a degree that causes the air around their fingertips to combust. Shit like that. And like the lost technology is basically human technology that is being found and recreated like for these new people. But yeah, blah 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 blah.
So what's the plan?
I'm accepting your guild card. I am sending my guild card, and then we are killing a Thingamabob, and then after Thingamabob is dead, we are going to kill some Kirans.
Cool. Yeah, you get. I think the big thing with those original characters is it's just kids who don't understand what makes a character interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody tends to make those characters, like
yeah.
everybody. So, it's at a point, it's like, okay, it's all fun for us to kind of laugh at it and go, ha ha ha, these dumb kids. But it's just someone who hasn't really come to understand of what makes someone interesting. It's plot hooks and things like that. But a lot of people are of the opinion that it's all it's these weird little things. It's these intricate backgrounds. Yeah, but it has to be organic or organic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna like. I have created my own original characters back in the day. I don't use most of them anymore. But one guy I use and have used for a long time. Nowadays, some people might look at them and go, "Okay, this character is original character," because the character I play is a genie. And the thing was, he didn't start like that. Where he is now is after 10 to 15 years of me playing this guy, like, constantly. And so he has a point where he's like, okay, this is where he is.
Yeah.
That's kind of the problem.
Yeah, like in my thing that I just read out, because I wrote it down a while ago, basically how I have it set up is that the world has its clans and such, but the underlying rulers is actually the church, the ones who promote the humans, and they're the ones who send people out into these holy lands the most. And what ends up happening is they want to make sure they have all the technology so that they not only remain in power, but to keep the rest of the world ignorant. And when I was writing this, I had an idea for a character who was just like, he wasn't anyone fancy. He was just like generic adventurer number 9. Like, but what he did is on one of his dives into one of these ruins, he found a. Now I had wrote this a lot further beyond than Breath of the Wild, but he essentially found a tablet that had a active AI in it that, after some fiddling, managed to teach him how to read the old language, and essentially taught him science and how shit works. So he ended up getting a reputation for being able to get deeper into ruins than anyone else, because he had an AI that could literally hack doors that had been sealed for thousands of years. But at the same time, he wasn't anything special. He was just a guy who got lucky with the draw. And what ended up happening is he had to keep certain things away from the church because he realized what they were trying to do, but at the same time, like, blah. Like, I haven't fleshed it out in a long while, but it's a thing.
Well, you already have kind of interesting ideas. You've already juxtaposed several different things, including technology and, kind of almost primevalism. You've juxtaposed technology versus religion, all kinds of fun stuff. You've done that, but kind of the important thing is you're letting the character. Your character's not, or is defined by what he's doing, not what he has already done, which is kind of important. And that kind of makes people more interesting. Is what do they do, not what have they already done.
Yeah. Hey, look, a flashbang pod. But no, the one thing I like about that setting is that, like, the reason why there are so many plains and lakes is because they're filled up craters from the war.
Well, you got to have this. Like, there's an awful lot of post-apocalyptic and post-apocalyptic happening right now, and what it's you gotta kind of mess with it to make it unique nowadays, because so many people are messing with that. That's the soup du jour right now. So many people are doing that shit.
Poor guy.
That tail did exist.
I didn't know if that was his head or his tail.
I don't think I can cut his head off. I don't think I have that ability. Nice.
He's jumping.
Ah, damn it, didn't work. I was trying to give him an aerial hit.
An aerial get fucked-ectomy?
Yep. But he got me first. Hello, friend. Hey, charge me. Hey, you. Hey, you. Right over here. Right over here. Yep, just like that. Just like that.
Yugi, basically what ends happening is the races in my world are they look very human. They just have some animal characteristics, like ears, tails, shit like that. But they don't have. I refuse to have them with ears on top of their head because logically that would mean they have massive parts of their brain missing. Their ears are in the same part as normal human ears. They're just longer and with little fur tufts on them.
Or you could just, say their brains have adjusted. That's not a far.
Well, no, if they were to have this, logically, if they were to have the same size skulls as a human and their oral centers were on top of their head, there'd be like a quarter of their brain missing from the space required to make it work.
Well, you could just say it went to where that amount of brain space went to where the current oral centers are, If you're using the same shape and just changing where things are, you still have the same volume, you just changed where things exist.
Oh, I just wyvern shot him in the balls.
Nice.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Well, maybe this guy.
Part of the, I think, issue going on with a lot of the anthropomorphism, haha, you thought you had me, was just that people are just like, okay, yeah, they're humans, but with fur. And it's like, that's boring. That's the problem, it's boring.
That little fuck.
You need to do something with it.
Ah, bugger.
But I think that's why, like, Zootopia did so well, is because they kept the atavistic nature of the various creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't just, these are animals that are humans. It's like, no, they're not. They they do.
They're animals that are animals.
They're animals that are animals. They just happen to speak and have human society.
And work. That's important.
Not all of them. Actually, not most of them.
There were some who refused to wear any clothing. They were terrifying.
Actually, I'm really cracking up because have you seen the new videos on Kingdom Hearts 3 that just released?
No, I have not. But you know what I have seen?
What?
I've seen that this guy is running back toward you.
Yep. Oh, isn't that convenient? And done. They just revealed Monsters Inc. as a new planet.
Oh, that's neat.
And what's interesting about it is that Sora is apparently a cat person, like that's the monster he becomes. And for the first time in any of the planets, he has no pants.
Oh, that poor... Well, he didn't have them in Lion King, but he was also...
Well, yeah, but he also didn't have a shirt in Lion King. He has a shirt still.
Like
he has his vest. He just doesn't have pants.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Wow, I got an Anjanath plate.
I'm not sure, I'm not entirely sure if the developers thought that one through. Ah, I dealt more damage than you.
I wonder why.
See, 3,000 damage. I can do it too.
I actually have to see this now.
Oh, you're trying to look for the pictures?
Yeah, why not? It should be easy. Just
no, it actually does look very cool, and they were saying some very interesting things about